patreon.com/no new friends podcast, where you can do all sorts of things. You can sit in on this episode and watch. And tomorrow night, when we record our 50th episode, we're inviting all of our Patreon members to watch the recording live, whether you're a $1 a month member or a $20 a month member. We want to have everybody. It's going to be Patreon Appreciation Day. And then, as always, you have till August 1st. That's right around the corner to vote for us for Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando competition under the category Best Local Color, Best Local Podcast. And we are live streaming on Facebook right now. So make sure you check us out when we do that. My name is Scott. I am the host. With me, as always, my co-host, Mary.
Hey!
Our producer, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
Roads? Where we're going? We don't need roads.
I love
know
the
that one.
prop. And our brand new intern, Ghost Mary.
No!
Hey.
I want to sound cooler.
Well, you're gonna have to provide me some voice or something. Are you gonna be able to interrupt yourself and do the voice of Ghost Mary?
I could just be like, Ghost Mary! No, I feel like you
No, come on, man.
You gotta sound creepy.
What? That is creepy.
So we're right now in the heart of the Olympics, and
Yes.
how do I know this? Because my mother is available for nothing. She loves the Olympics a hell of a lot more than she loves me. Chris, the way that my mom sets herself up for the Olympics, she's not watching this live stream right now. Why, you ask? Because she's got two TVs with the Olympics on, two different channels, and her iPad. It is like the war room for the NBA draft.
Priorities.
With all of her gadgets so that she can watch the damn Olympics.
Is there a why? Like, why is
Yeah,
why
that
is
was
this
my question. Is there a particular event that she's
all of
really
them
excited about?
all of them. You know,
Is it because she's filled with like national pride, or what is it?
I don't, Mary, I don't know what it is. She loves it. She loves the drama. She loves the pageantry. She loves the just everything about it. The stories that go on. I mean, I remember when Dan Jansen, the speed skater, back in like the 1988 Olympics, the big story was his sister had just passed away from cancer, and he was like expected to win the gold medal, and he had like 5 different races and false started, didn't win. So like it was a big bummer. 4 years later, he wins his first gold, and my mom is like an inconsolable mess because of this. I mean, we can't watch, like, we watched the movie Miracle, about the story about the 1980 U.S. men's hockey team that defeated the former Soviet Union and went on to win the gold.
I was
When
there.
that, yeah.
No. I went to the actual place. I went to the place.
Oh, to Lake Placid?
I also went back in time, but this instant I was talking about the facility.
Right. So I mean, the main title Miracle comes up, and she's a mess. She's a mess because the way that it worked is they wanted that to be a primetime game, and the network was like, well, no, we've got like underwater basket or frozen basket weaving or something like that to show during prime
Frozen
time.
basket weaving. That's what we're going with. I mean, it sounds like a hell of a sport. I don't know. I would give it a try.
So the game actually happened earlier in the day, and my dad knew the score because they kept you up to date on the scores and all that. And they're like, hey, if you don't want to be spoiled, leave the room now. Well, my mom like left the room, so she watched the game when they aired it prime time. And I mean, she can vividly describe every moment of that game, including Al Michaels saying, do you believe in miracles? Yes. She loves figure skating. She loves gymnastics. And I used to have this obsession too. I mean, I remember when my son was born back in 2000, I would go into his room in the middle of the night, rock him to sleep, and I'd have the Olympics on. And we did the triple cast back then, the red, white, and blue package, where you had 3 different channels, and we moved the TV in. So, it started as an early age for me.
I don't know what it is about the Olympics. Like, I don't know what they put in our water to make me want to, like, at 3 a.m. be like, I have to watch this mountain biking race to see if and then I'll know. Like, I was saying to Emily, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait for such and such a person, such and such a person. She's like, how do you know these athletes? I was like, you know what?
Right.
I have no idea. It's like there's this secret like signal that America puts out that they just embed all this information into your mind.
Right.
It's just to insert the SD card into the simulation that we're in, just so to
Yeah.
preload us with all the information.
I think I missed the load in of the SD card because I feel none of that.
You were on the ghost
Also,
train during the
Yeah,
I
right?
guess so. I don't know. Like, so last night it was the triathlon, something like that with women
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I don't know. I sound like an idiot. But like it was interesting to watch, but that's about it. I
The
don't.
the funny thing
Yeah.
about my mom is she doesn't like she could be watching curling during the Winter Olympics,
Yeah.
right? Like who
Riveting,
knows anything
riveting.
about curling, especially here in Florida. But she'll remember the names from like one game ago, and she's like, "Oh, Dumbstringer is playing lights out," and she knows every stat. Like, "Oh, he wasn't this good back when he was in Wisconsin, in the state curling championships against Minnesota." Like, she knows everything about these people. But 2 weeks from now, she's not going to be able to tell you who the captain of the track team is.
Me and Emily were watching archery the other day, and we were like on the border, like the edge of our seats, watching like the Republic of Korea versus the athletes of Russia, and we're like, and I think I think a part of this Olympics is because like there's just some countries that you just can't stand. So it's like when you see like Russia losing something, it's just like, oh yeah, we knew you guys sucked. Like it's like you just want to see these countries lose, and then it's like when America wins, it's just kind of like you just get on your high horse. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure.
This is the race wars that we've been
Oh my
waiting for.
God.
This is the global race wars we've been waiting
It's just
for.
an organized race war.
Right, a sanctioned race
How
war.
weird is it?
exactly.
And I was thinking about this a lot. How weird is it that no country can get along on anything, whether it be politics or religion, but once every 2 years, the world comes together to throw a tournament to see what country
I know,
is the
right?
best at curling. Like it's really strange when you take a step back from it.
It just goes to show that sports brings the world
Hey,
together,
I
and
second that.
that is why sports is so important. Go ahead, cut the arts and fund the sports.
There we go.
We're okay. So officially now I'm interested in like boxing because I'll kick your ass for saying stuff like that. What is wrong with you?
So I wanted to find out from you guys, do you have any other obsessions, almost guilty pleasures, if you will, but obsessions like my mom does around the Olympics? I mean, she dresses up, she dresses up her Build-A-Bears in red, white, and blue for the Olympics. They all have medals.
Look, I'm not, there's no judgment here. I'm not judging her. I don't know. I don't have any type of obsession like that. I don't think. I say that, but what you view as an obsession is just everyday life to me, probably.
Right.
I don't know. Like maybe
You're
I have
obsessed with wanting to be not around a lot of people.
That's not true. I like to socialize. I like people, but like in a controlled
Mary, we had
setting.
3 different episodes about how you love being on the train, that you would rather be on a train with ghosts than actual real people.
Hey, I was a victim of circumstance.
Here we go.
Okay. Like,
Take a shot, Chris.
hold on. Listen though.
We've got our new friends Mary bingo card. That's one spot. Victim
Listen,
of
though,
circumstance.
Today I text you guys. I almost had a damn heart attack when I got to the platform and there's like 50 people. Just I have a paper bag for when that happens so I can just because I just know somebody is going to try to sit with me. I need to stop looking look so inviting. I shouldn't do that. I really should stop that.
Is there a place
I
to
don't-
stand? I mean, like the old school, hold on to the harness or whatever.
What, you want me to do that? I can't reach the harness.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm giving you options here.
I appreciate that. Here's the problem too. Also, just quick side story. My quick stories from the Sunrail, even though you didn't ask. I almost died today, guys.
Well, that's all about segment 2. Stories from the Sunrail is all segment 2.
Good
well, we were
plug, though.
leading into it because I was talking about it.
Yeah, but-
okay. Well, obsessions, talking about myself, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Here I am. Also, maybe my kids. I talk about my kids a lot.
Yeah, and you're obsessed with that damn dog.
Oh, okay. Well, I said my kids, same thing. She's my baby, my pride and joy, my wahoos.
Mary, I realized that you may have a problem when you said, I don't know what excites me more, being proud of my kids for something or being proud of my dog. And I was like, yeah, all right, well,
Well, but she's just such a little fluffer nutter.
yeah. But let me ask you a question. Do your kids eat your wedges?
I'm not going to answer that. You know, once again, I'm a victim of circumstance.
Oh, here we go. Is that
But
a
my
double
kids
shot?
wreck other stuff. You act like they don't destroy things, like my soul.
Chris, other than collecting, and I'm telling you, for those of you watching or listening and you haven't heard the last two episodes, we've established that Chris has a hoarding problem and
A collecting hobby.
yes, he's a
Collecting hobby. Yeah, I
collecting
mean, it's not
enthusiast.
really a problem for him. It's more of Emily's hoarding problem at this
Right,
point.
right. But here's the thing, Chris. At first, I thought it was just an exaggeration that you were, talking about. But as I was listening to you, and as I'm continuing to progress through the seasons of Hoarders, I'm going to start counseling you now.
Scott has quickly become my therapist in the last
Yeah.
24
Oh,
hours.
that's good.
So when we were discussing this streaming live, Chris gets so excited. He's like, I have needed an excuse to buy this little contraption. It's like this, what is it, a stream deck?
Yeah, man.
Is that what
You
it's
even
called?
heard of it?
Well, I have now. I watched a whole YouTube about it. And I'm like, Chris, this thing confuses me. Like, what does it do? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, then why did you buy it? He's like, because I've just always wanted one. I'm like, oh Lord, I'm like, Chris, you have a problem.
So,
Other than hoarding, what is your obsession?
so I just quickly I can relate to your mom because on NFL Sundays I have my iPad which has Red Zone, then I have the Eagles on the TV, and then I have my fantasy team on my computer. So I multi-screen on Sundays for sure, right? That's my small obsession. My big obsession is ruining movies and TV shows for
Hold
Emily.
on. Emily just said Chris is very comfortable with living around his, in quotes, collectibles.
And my dad goes, "I'll
Does
second
he
that." And you said I had a
shiny?
hoarding problem. So my
Hoarding
biggest,
potential, right?
my biggest obsession is ruining movies and TV shows for Emily because I am
Oh.
obsessed, and not intentionally, but just because I just want to keep good film in the house and trash bad film out of the house. So when so I'm obsessed with looking at IMDb ratings of movies and TV shows. So
Right.
it's like, so Emily's like, "Oh, this movie looks really good." I was like, "What do you mean, that 4.5 out of 10?" And I was like, "Oh, absolutely not." Or like, we'll be going through movies, which is why we usually just fall asleep looking for movies. We'll be going through Netflix and stuff, and I'll just be on IMDb. So she pulls a movie up. I'm like, no, that's a 6. That's a 6. We can't do that.
No way.
This
We
was- this
can't
was-
settle.
This is a 45 critic score.
So you
Not
ruin it as
happening.
far as like you give the ending away, or you ruin it as far as, hey, this is a terrible movie.
No, you don't
and-
even get to watch
No,
it.
we don't even get to watch because like she'll watch the trailer or I'll be like, no, they gave way too much away in the trailer. I already know what happens. We can't watch this. And by the way, the Metacritic score is only a 45 out of 100 on this, so we're not gonna waste our time doing this anyway. Like I can't tell you how many times I get like actually mad at her for watching reality television shows.
Right.
Well, me and her actually we watched that Sexy Beast show on Netflix, and which I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, where people were wearing Hollywood prosthetics.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
don't
previews
bother.
for
Don't-
that.
Don't bother.
That didn't even look interesting.
No,
to me
it's like
at
Love
all.
is Blind with a creep
Oh, that's what
factor
you
to it.
tagged me in.
Yes.
Oh, you know what though, Scott? I did think of something I'm obsessed with.
What's that?
Murder.
Yeah.
Oh,
But not
we're
like me
live,
doing-
Barry.
not
We're
me.
live.
Yeah.
But not me. Like I'm not, I'm
It's a good thing I signed my umbrella policy today with Steve Crutchfield.
yeah. Oh,
You know.
nice. Shameless.
And if
plug.
you're looking to,
I hate
if
you
you're
so
in
much.
the state of Florida,
why?
Orlando area, and you need new auto insurance or home insurance, contact
Listen.
Steve Crutchfield, Crutchfield at farmersagent.com. There's my plug.
Jared asked what I was talking. Jared, I've never murdered someone.
But
that
she
I'll
knows how to
admit
get away
to.
with it.
Yeah.
I do know how to get away with it. No, I love everything about crime or murder.
You'd be a good murder coach. Maybe that could be a side.
That
thing
could
for
be
you.
a side. Those who
Yeah.
can't teach, gotta teach people how to get away with it.
You're like, I don't have the heart to kill, but I will teach you how. Be a good Craigslist listing for you. That's all that stuff's allowed. on there.
Murder coach. That's fantastic. I've got a couple, and they're all around football.
Okay,
College
that's
football,
fair.
pro football. College football, I'm obsessed with my superstitions. Like I am highly superstitious for Florida State games. I mean, in an earlier episode, Mary and I discussed that like we were winning at halftime. And Mary got up. She was watching the game in my house. Mary got up and went into the kitchen for the second half. And then all of a sudden, we blew a 20-point lead. And I'm like, what happened? What changed? And I see Mary's in the kitchen. I'm like, get your ass back in that seat. Like this
okay,
is your
you
fault. And then I
cannot.
threw a shoe
it
at her.
was not. He did throw a shoe at me, and it's not fair because he was holding me hostage, and I wanted snacks. So
My teams aren't good enough to be superstitious. I just let them go. That's just fate has already been decided for them.
Right, right. No, I get you. And then, so during college football, because Rachel is a Gator, I'm a Seminole. So if they're both playing at the same time, especially like on a rivalry weekend when we're playing Miami and they're playing Georgia,
Right.
we'll pull two TVs in. So that's a little bit of an obsession. My biggest thing though is fantasy football. I mean, that is when my radio changes and I listen to fantasy XM radio, fantasy football on XM radio nonstop. I buy magazines. I'm reading articles. I'm on Sundays. I'm nonstop checking my scores. I mean, it's an unhealthy obsession, and I feel sick to my stomach if my
Yes.
team is not performing well.
In the first 15 minutes, you already know.
For sure.
It's gut wrenching. If Emily could get rid of my hoarding habits or just fantasy football in general, it'd be fantasy football.
Oh, I'm sure my wife is probably the same way. Like, if she could pick something, that would be what it is.
I think I would get rid of fantasy football if I had the opportunity.
Dude, there's so much anxiety around it, and I can't. That's going to be coming up in the next couple weeks, next month or so. So we're probably going to have a whole segment about that. Mary, I'm sorry, you're probably going to be extremely bored. Maybe we should have done it on the episode that she wasn't here, Chris.
I mean, I can just not be here. That's fine too.
No, stop. You have to be here. Like our numbers show when you're not here because like Mary tells all of her family, "Hey, don't bother listening to that episode. I'm not really on it."
Don't
Like you don't.
do that. I don't. What? Why
I'm just
would I?
kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back.